Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is America is continuing to anger the bear. Perhaps you remember the dream that I'm not going to cover, where the angel came to Dmitri and actually showed him that there was a bear that would continue to grow stronger and more angry, and that would be Russia, until finally the bear would overrun them, and NATO and all the forces out there fighting against the bear would be like men trying to fight off a big bear with sticks. And that's where we're coming to. America is now continuing to anger the bear, and the bear is actually bigger and stronger and has more of the military might, the military weapons and technologies. She can already destroy America, but rest assured, she's preparing even more for it. So let's go into America continues to anger the bear. Biden administration escalates undeclared U.S. proxy war. Now, what's a proxy war? This is somebody that is, you got two bullies in the parking lot throwing rocks at each other. The proxy is the person that's handing the rocks or handing the bullets, handing the weapons to one side or the other. In other words, they're not actively involved in it, but indirectly they are. And that's where America is right now. And of course, truth be known, it would not surprise me a bit to find out that America already has American boots on the ground, American blood already shed in Ukraine. It would surprise me to find out it's already happened in Russia too. Biden administration escalates undeclared U.S. proxy war by providing depleted uranium weapons to Ukraine. Russia, several months ago, openly said that's a red line. You start taking depleted uranium weapons into Ukraine, and we're going to fire at them. And that's exactly what's happening. Another article says U.S. set to approve depleted uranium tank rounds for Ukraine. The article says the Biden administration is preparing to supply Ukrainian army with depleted uranium tank rounds. These rounds will be used to equip the American tanks that are being provided to Ukraine, signaling an escalation in the administration's support for, really, Russia. The decision to supply depleted uranium tank rounds comes after extensive internal deliberations within the administration regarding the best way to equip the Abrams tanks. So, we have sent American tanks, probably American boots, and now we're sending American ammunition to Ukraine, giving it to them to fight the Russians. Sad to say, the Russians are beating everything that's thrown at them. Oh, you're not getting that at Fox News. According to the report, there are no significant obstacles impeding the delivery of these rounds to Ukrainian forces. Depleted uranium rounds are known for their effectiveness against Russian armor and tanks, with experts describing them as hitting like a freight train due to their high density and kinetic energy. The Pentagon has recommended the use of these rounds, citing their regular use by the U.S. Army and their capability to penetrate the frontal armor of Russian tanks from a distance, or just about anything else. So, what is it? I should have had you a picture here, but let me pick up like this. Okay, so try to imagine if this was made of depleted uranium, and I don't have my numbers on it, but I think it's at least twice as heavy as lead. Some people might say, no, it's actually 3 times heavier. Anyway, it's heavier than lead. It's very hard. And when it hits, it does not stop. It is so heavy. When it hits, it turns iron into hot butter. The Pentagon has recommended the use of these rounds, citing the regular use by the U.S. Army. Next headline, Russia, new weapons based on new physics. You see, America has been showing our hand over in Iraq and Afghanistan. Probably we have revealed most, not all, but most of our most advanced weapons. Russia, on the other hand, is not. They're still using the ancient World War II stuff for the most part. Now, they brought out a little of it, but I'll bet you, truth be known, that Russia has far more advanced weapons than America or anybody else, far higher technology, and can take out America. Remember the dream that, I guess it was an angel visit, that came to Dmitri and showed him in a vision that Russia is going to be able to take out America, and America won't be able to do anything about stopping it. Oh, let's go on though. New weapons based on new physics. U.S. and NATO missiles would never leave their silos. Never leave their silos. See, Russia's not worried about America. She's not. She can take out America anytime she wants to. The government of Russia has developed new weapons technology based on new physics principles that, if used, would prevent U.S. and NATO nuclear weapons from ever leaving their launch silos. Russia has nothing to fear of U.S. nuclear weapons. Russia has become close to creating weapons based upon new physics principles. It's time to reveal a conceptually new weapon based on new physical principles that only science fiction writers dreamed of in their works years ago. The Alabuga complex is a high-frequency, high-power electromagnetic generator capable, in the truest sense of the word, of burning all electronics within a radius of 4 kilometers. Okay, basically what it is, it's scalar wave. Just like we're seeing unusual weather, we're seeing tornadoes and hurricanes and floods and droughts and hail storms. All of that is caused, well, most of it, in my opinion, is caused by scalar wave. In modern warfare, the one who first blinds and destroys the enemy's electronic eyes wins. Alabuga disables any enemy electronics such as a tank battalion, an airfield with aircraft, and even simple mobile phones, computers, and other household appliances. After that, the enemy will simply have no choice but to surrender and give all the weapons to the advanced units of the Russian army as trophies. But see, America doesn't listen to Prophecy Club. They don't listen to these people because we're headed up by evil people that are specifically doing these things to make the Russian bear angry so that the Russian bear will destroy America. So, and if EMP, I'm going to try to pronounce that, Alabuga, are placed on the missiles, this missile somewhere in the United States next to the launch silos of nuclear ballistic missiles, it is possible to activate the generator at the right time, thereby disabling the atomic first of the United States. They can take out America anytime they want to and not be fearing our nuclear weapons. The very idea of electromagnetic weapon is not new. In 1962, when testing atomic weapons, I believe it's scalar wave, that disabled 2 Soviet satellites and 4 of their own. And other reports say that's really what happened to Chernobyl. Really, when they were firing up the scalar wave, they didn't know what they were doing at first, and they set off all of the radioactive material at Chernobyl, and that's what caused that, so I'm told. Putin admitted for the first time that all of NATO is fighting in Ukraine. What? Yep, I'm telling you, it's true. All of NATO is already fighting in Ukraine. We are defeating them, he says. He says the Russian President Vladimir Putin says we're gradually and methodically demilitarizing Ukraine. What are the armed forces of Ukraine fighting? Are they producing Leopard and Bradley or F-16s that they haven't shipped yet? No. Ukraine's military-industrial complex will soon cease to exist. What do they produce? He says they send them ammunition. They send them equipment. That's us. They send everything to them. You can't survive for long like this. Who are the ones sending them? All the NATO states, America, the West, sending thousands of tons of bullets, helmets, tanks, missiles, and soon fighters. So, who is Russia fighting? The answer is all of NATO, whose weapons for now are operated by Ukrainian soldiers and foreign mercenaries. How are they doing? Not good. Our weapons against Russia are being defeated. Escalation. Russia and the U.S. deployed nuclear missiles outside their territory. 63 kiloton bombs. Okay, what does that mean? The ones that Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I'm doing this off the top of my head. I know one was 4 kiloton. I think the other one was 2. I know one was larger than the other. 63 kiloton bombs target Europe and Baltics for the first time since 1991. So what does that mean? These depleted uranium munitions by the Ukrainian army are being used, and now Russia has placed 63 kiloton bombs. So if one 4 kiloton were to hit downtown Dallas, it wouldn't destroy the whole city, but 63 kiloton would come pretty close. but they have 250 and they have 500 kiloton bombs. One 500 kiloton bomb, and Dallas is just a hole in the ground. Same thing with Fort Worth. It might even be big enough to destroy them both. Numerous nuclear storage facilities left over from the Soviet Union is where they're storing them temporarily, but if something goes wrong, 1 million people will die in one fell swoop. One bomb, 1 million people. Doesn't take much to destroy a nation. Now, as a matter of fact, Revelation says America will be destroyed in 1 day and 1 hour. We'll each have a yield of 43 to 63 tons. Russia has about 1,816 non-strategic nuclear warheads. Okay, that's 1,800 of the small ones they're talking about. Now, do you think Russia's telling us the truth? Do you think Russia is telling us all of their capabilities? I don't think so. My guess is, it seems like I've heard someplace else they have close to 8,000 of them. Again, there's a scripture, I want to say Jeremiah 50 or 51, that says the earth is moved at the taking of Babylon. That's how big it is. If this is the case, the carriers of the nuclear warheads could potentially have a range covering almost all of Ukraine, almost all of Eastern Europe, Baltic states, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Czech Republic, Romania, and part of Germany, as well as Denmark, Sweden, and Finland. What Russia is saying, we can take out NATO. We can take out America. And as we say in Texas, there's not a cotton-picking thing you can do about it. But America's not listening. The United States immediately responded to Putin's move. The Americans have now deployed about 150 nuclear weapons on air bases in Europe without any official announcement. So we thought we could sneak one in on the Russians. No, they know. Remember, the Russians are the ones that win most of the chess tournaments and have for 20 or 30 years. In other words, the Russians, see, we Americans want to think we're the biggest and the best of everything in the world. Russians, they're actually smart. They're very smart, and we aren't giving them the credit we should. Located in Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands, Turkey, and Italy, it says, about 150 warheads have been deployed at U.S. bases in these countries. Let me show you what these guys are saying in their own tongue.
Сегодня стало известно, что Великобритания устами заместителя главы Министерства обороны этой страны объявила не только о поставках танков на Украину, но и снарядов с объединенным ураном. Похоже, что Запад действительно решил воевать с Россией до последнего украинца уже не на словах, а на деле. Но хотел бы в этой связи отметить, что если все это будет происходить, то соответствующим образом Россия вынуждена будет реагировать, имея в виду, что коллективный Запад начинает применять уже оружие с ядерным компонентом.
Они все живы-здоровы, кроме одной. Поэтому, если нужно, мы в любой момент кнопку нажал, ракета полетела куда надо. Но это межконтинентальная ракета. Я что, с Америкой собираюсь воевать? Нет. Поэтому мне пока достаточно этого оружия, если грубо говорить. Но это было мое требование. Это не Россия мне навязывала. Почему? Потому что с ядерной державой, как вы все говорите, никто еще в мире не воевал. И я не хочу, чтобы с нами воевали. Все готово, все лежит как надо. Не все единицы. Я думаю, пройдет несколько дней, и мы будем иметь то, что мы просили. И даже чуть больше.
Nearly 15% of Bradley armored vehicles the U.S. has sent to Ukraine now destroyed in just over 3 days. In other words, all of this fancy equipment that America has, this think they can run over the Russians, Russians destroying it. We are getting beaten, and we don't even know it. When it comes time for us to defend ourselves, we'll have to call Ukraine and say, hey, can you quickly bring all of that equipment back? Oh, no, well, it's all destroyed. The Russians destroyed. We shot all the bullets. We shot it all up. And so we don't have anything to send you. And, of course, America, if the truth was known, is probably not replenishing them because evil is in control of our nation. 16 of the approximately 109 Bradleys sent to Ukraine have been lost or destroyed. 5 of these have been totally destroyed, while another 11 have either been abandoned, damaged to the point of being unusable. Moving on tracks rather than wheels, their transportation is to move 10 troops at a time. Bradleys are much stronger than the counterpart IFVs in use in the Russian armed forces. Yeah, well, the Russians are taking them out. Dmitry Medvedev threatens to cut off the West's internet. How? By cutting the undersea infrastructure or the pipelines or the electronic lines between continents. Dmitry Medvedev, the hardline former Russian president, said that Moscow had the moral right to target its enemies' communications infrastructure because of what he claimed was Western complicity in the blast that ruptured the Nord Stream 1 and 2 gas pipelines last year. So, yeah, we've already committed what could be called an act of war. If Russia were to attack America right now, they could say, wait a minute, we had every authority to. They attacked us first. The Kremlin-built pipelines ran from Russia through the Baltic Sea to Germany. Their destruction crippled energy supplies to Europe and deprived Moscow of billions of dollars in potential revenue. Supreme Court rules the IRS can secretly grab bank records of outside parties. See, if our leadership was on our side, they wouldn't be doing this. Both the Russians and the leadership in America are against Christians. What they're trying to do is to destroy the remaining Christians on the planet so that they can put their man, the beast, or the Antichrist on the throne. The Supreme Court has ruled unanimously in a delinquent taxpayer case that it was lawful for the IRS to secretly summon the bank records of third parties. In other words, okay, so let's say Party A did something wrong. So they summoned the records. They can also get the records of Party B and the Party C, even though they didn't request them. So that allows them to look at more people's records to see if they can find more people that they can come after. In other words, the nation's highest court recognized that the Internal Revenue Service is not required to notify third parties who are not under investigation when seeking a summons for banking records thought to be relevant to the tax delinquency of another person. One lawyer who briefed the Supreme Court said, the new ruling gives the IRS startlingly broad authority to pry into the financial records of people who may be only remotely connected to a delinquent taxpayer. The ruling, a victory for the Biden administration that wants to put down America, came after the administration's attempts to strengthen IRS enforcement efforts became an issue in the midterm congressional elections. The Inflation Reduction Act, which President Joe Biden signed into law in August 2022, allocated almost $80 billion to the IRS to hire an extra 87,000 agents. We've heard about that. Democrats say the IRS has long been underfunded, but Republicans say the extra money is just to harass taxpayers. An AI program is pretending to be Jesus. Remember, I said that this quantum computer that's going to be controlling everything is probably going to be hooked into a clone that is probably half man, half Lucifer, probably will be hooked into that computer and will have all accumulated knowledge that the devil has possibly accumulated, access to it instantly. Well, now they've got this AI program that is saying it's Jesus. I just reported in, I think it was yesterday's program, that they are also writing a new Bible. We're going to have an AI, an artificial intelligence Bible. What the article said is, so finally we'll get the truth. It's sad. The AI program is pretending to be Jesus, and thousands of lost young people are flocking to it. Jesus replied, see that, no, but by the way, it makes me want to wash my mouth out having to read something that's not King James, but this is what the article said, so I'll read it. See that no one leads you astray, for many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and they will lead many astray. At least one of those deceivers is turning out to be an AI called Ask Jesus. A Berlin-based tech collective has developed a chatbot resembling Jesus Christ, which already has thousands of followers seeking advice and guidance. The chatbot, referred to as AI Jesus, has the appearance of a bearded white man with a radiant halo and utilizes artificial intelligence reportedly trained on the teachings of Jesus and the Bible. Are you listening? Operating under the Twitch channel name Ask Jesus, the live stream has amassed a following of over 36,000 devoted users. Viewers are encouraged to pose their questions to the AI Jesus, who responds with gestures and answers, providing advice on topics ranging from gaming to relationships. Trump's spokeswoman hints former president will soon address, I can't say that word, fallout that will investigate Big Pharma. And you remember Neville Johnson, prophet out of Australia, gone to be with the Lord now, said that there's going to come a time when Big Pharma apparently is going to be turned upside down. A whole lot of secrets that they've had, cures for cancer and various things like that, are going to be released. Apparently, this is how it's going to happen. A spokeswoman for former President Donald Trump said he's preparing to address various issues supporters will have with him regarding his Operation Warp Speed development of this harmful, and I can't say those words. What President Trump is saying is we cannot allow Big Pharma to be making profits over kids being sick. We need to investigate, so that I think these investigations, like what will be happening for a lot of things with Big Pharma. Trump would likely also support getting to the bottom of how the pandemic was politically weaponized to steal his reelection. The same time, throughout all of these things is accountability. He says you can't fix the deep state, you can't fix the corruption with corporations, and with the endless wars and the defense lobby and everything else unless you really get truth and accountability. Well, I'm going to say you can't fix the deep state, you can't fix the corruption, you can't fix America, and so what is God going to do? He's going to just destroy it. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, the last trump. That's the final destruction. There's actually two destructions. One is the Russians destroying the church. The second one is from Jesus on the Feast of Trumpets when he returns for Armageddon, and that's destroying those people that killed the Christians. In her was found the blood of saints and prophets, and all that were slain upon the earth. Ask Jesus to forgive your sins. Get this out to your friends, neighbors, and relatives before it's too late.
Today, we live in unsettling times. Have you ever wondered what you're going to do when food is no longer on the shelves? I'm Leslie, owner and founder of Joseph's Kitchen, and I want to show you how to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread for only a few $100s a year. At Joseph's Kitchen, our goal is to help you live a more healthy and prepared life. Our products are ready for everyday use, but are also designed for long-term storage. Whether you are looking to make healthy, homemade, whole wheat bread, or want to be sure your family is prepared, Joseph's Kitchen is pre-packaged to take all the guesswork out. We personally test each harvest to make sure you are getting the highest quality ingredients.
Are you and your family prepared for what may lie ahead? At Joseph's Kitchen, we are your farm-to-table alternative. Go to josephskitchen.com to order today. And be sure to use the promo code on screen to receive your free gift. Don't get caught unprepared. Go to josephskitchen.com now.
Terry Saka, CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. The world seems to be falling apart financially. Why should they call CornerstoneAssetMetals.com today?
Well, the FDIC insurance fund is now empty. Not only is it empty, it's at zero. So now all bank bailouts are going to have to come from taxpayers. This could result in trillions of new currency notes being printed. The more they print, the more inflation we're going to have, potentially hyperinflation, and we need to protect ourselves away from that dollar.
CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. Go online or give them a call at 888-747-3309. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com. You don't have to get anything today. Just give them a call and say, hey, here's my situation. What do you suggest? I am having another level 2. Level 2 School of the Watchmen's Conference, and I'm calling this a teacher's course. It's going to be September 15 and 16. You can go to prophecyclub.com and it'll tell you all of the details about it. And it gives you all of the requirements. I'll let you read that online. However, the big question is you're going to be saying, well, what's the difference between level 1 and level 2? Well, lots. Level 1 was primarily reading through most of the book of Revelation and teaching it. That's not be level 2. Yes, we will do some reading, but this one is designed to make you a teacher of Bible prophecy, which, by the way, our office wants to know if you went through level 1 and if you have taught or have been invited to teach from the book of Revelation and you went through level 1, send me an email. I'd like to know that. I know there's been at least one. I think there's 2, maybe more. Anyway, I'd like to know. So level 2 is to teach you to the point to where you can be qualified to actually teach the book of Revelation. Now, I can tell you right up front, we're going to have a level 3, God willing. And in that one, I'm going to require people to memorize the book of Revelation to come to level 3. And so there's going to be 1 year's difference between level 2 and level 3. It took me a year to memorize it, so I figure it'll take you a year to memorize it. Some of you may even faster. So go to prophecyclub.com and it'll give you all the details, tells you all about some of the difficult questions and things like that we're going to cover in level 2. Level 2 is going to get you real close to being a qualified teacher of Revelation. But by the time you get through level 3, having memorized the book, pastor's going to listen to you. And that's where we're going with this. Also, I'd recommend you go and get yourself a Berkey water filter. And yes, we do have Berkeys all in stock now. Also, we have potassium iodate pills, which are what you take inside of once a radioactive unit has happened in your area. As far as Berkey water filters, this is one thing you want to be sure to do is get some extra filters. This is the minimum most people will get is this one right here. I get the Crown Berkey right here. This is the one I have, this one I use. And I have about 8 extra filters with me too, because if you're using clean water, they'll last a year or 2. But if you're using rainwater or muddy water, then they clog up a whole lot faster. So you want to have some extra filters. Next is, I'll send you to empshield.com. If you use the promo word prophecy, you get a $50 discount. What is that? Well, it looks like this. This is the one that goes into a car, okay? And you put the red wire to the red side of the battery, you put the black wire to the black side of the battery, and the green one attaches to the body of the car. Then you peel it off right back here. Just peel that off, stick it inside of the engine compartment of your car. And the whole point is when the electricity goes off or when some kind of a suitcase nuclear device goes off, this is supposed to be able to stop that device from destroying every computer chip in your car. Because if every computer chip is destroyed in your car these days, you couldn't possibly replace them all. Throw the car away. So, empshield.com, promo code prophecy.